Hi, my name is Mary Spender and you are watching Tuesday Talks. And in this week's episode, I'm going to run through some advice I have for musicians performing at festivals alongside some footage I filmed at Glastonbury. Tuesday Talks.
And I see got chores to do, a load of laundry. But I'll see you later if you'll come and see me. Can't hear you call me in the laundromat where the hip-hop proprietor presides. And coyly clients say, "Excuse me, my brother," as they open the dryers.
Many of you will have performed at festivals before. Maybe these tips will serve as reminders, or if you are new to the festival circuit, then these things will definitely help. First thing, be protective of your equipment. It's your responsibility, and if anything happens to it, it's only going to be your fault. So don't leave it in your tent. Make sure it's in a secure lockup, or you're with it at all times. If you're just zooming into the festival and then zooming out again, it doesn't matter. Just really be careful, because there have been horror stories all over the world of things getting nicked or things getting misplaced. You know, maybe some things are taken by accident, some things are taken maliciously, so just be really careful. While I was at Glastonbury, I did 8 sets over 4 days. I couldn't keep my equipment with me all the time, so I made sure there was a secure lockup in a nice office, very out of the way of the general public. Be really aware. It's only your responsibility if it goes missing. If you are arriving the day of the festival, leave plenty of time before your set. Make sure you get there and you're relaxed and you can get on site calmly. It's so stressful when you are pushed for time because there are pedestrians everywhere. They often have to close off roads. There's so many things that have to happen to get a van on site to the tent that you're performing at. So just be really aware. Those things take time. A lot of walkie-talkies have to be used, and a lot of communication has to happen to get you there safely. But that also means that you have time to roam around the site, check out the bands, and see the band on before you on the stage, because that will give you way more awareness of what you're doing when you're up there and performing, and you know what the audience is experiencing. You will have sent a tech spec or a stage layout, or both, whether yourself or your manager or whoever is responsible for that in your team. But just be aware that those sound engineers, those people behind the scenes, they are working to make your life as easy as possible, so you need to make their life as easy as possible. So make sure everything is sorted in advance, and that when you get there, maybe even take a copy, because you just never know. Pieces of paper go missing all the time. Hand a set list as well to the sound engineer and mark out what instrument changes you're going to be doing, who's going to be playing when. Maybe your drummer's going to walk off stage, you're going to do a solo bit. You just need to let them know, and the best way is to give them a record of it so that they have something to refer to during your set. There's very little time for sound checks. Often you just get a line check. They can be quite stressful because you are literally on stage, your audience is there. If things aren't sounding right, you are already performing. So just be really careful about what you say and what you do, but know exactly what you like and what you don't like. Maybe give the sound engineer a heads up if you know that you like more vocals than maybe normal in your monitors, or maybe you want more bass guitar. Whatever your preferences are, just communicate really clearly. But remember, the sound engineer is your best friend. If I can give any advice in the music industry, the sound engineer is your best friend. I can't say it enough. I have seen nightmares of bands. They could be the best band in the world, and if they don't sound good out front, no one's gonna know. You could be playing like Jimi Hendrix, you could be playing your best set ever, and if the sound engineer doesn't take a liking to you, they're not gonna help. Alongside that, keep your set really simple. Often you only have 30 or 40 minutes. If you are using multiple guitars in a set, make sure you group the songs around the guitars that you're using. Do not keep changing, it just drags and you just lose momentum. And it's a simple thing, so just make sure your set list is really, really tight. Because if you go over your set time, it just kicks everything out of sync. So you not only affect the timings around you, but even when you get to the headline act of the stage, or even if you are the headline act of the stage, you might actually get the festival fined because they might need you to stop at a certain time. They might have a curfew. Or you might actually suffer the embarrassing moment of just being turned off by the sound engineer because you ran over and they probably gave you warning. So make sure your set times are just meticulous. Festivals are a great opportunity to play bigger shows than maybe you're used to. Let people know you're playing. Give them the best chance of getting to your set, because if they don't know about you, it's very unlikely that they'll just, stumble in and stay for the whole set. They might stumble in towards the end of the set, and that's not very useful. So let them know you're playing, let them know what time, use social media, use leaflets, but be careful of littering. Some people just don't like being handed things, or especially if you force it upon them. And this basically means, unless you are an absolute legend of a rock star, no one's really gonna know who you are. So just be polite and have a conversation with them. There are so many music lovers at festivals. The opportunity's there to do your thing in front of a large crowd, but make sure they know that you're playing. If you're playing original music and you're not the Foo Fighters or Ed Sheeran or any headline act recently, make sure you play a cover, because there's no harm in doing one and you can make it your own. If you put a popular cover in, the likelihood is that it will draw them back in and give them something familiar. Wear ear defenders, whether it's just simple earplugs or whether you have really nice in-ears, whatever. Just make sure you take your ear defenders to a festival, because you might be nearer your drummer than you're used to. It might just be incredibly loud on stage. It will definitely be loud off stage. And if you find yourself in a crowd watching another band, you might find yourself in front of a speaker that is there to project the sound to 100,000 other people behind you. So protect your ears. It's the only thing musicians really, really need to take care of, because you just can't repair it. Broken bones you can fix. Your ears, they're so vulnerable and they're so important. Maybe get a pair with a little case that you can always have with you. This tip applies to any gigging situation, really. Maybe just hold off the drink, maybe during your set. I know it's very cool and you feel like a rock star having a beer up on stage, but it's something to celebrate with, not work with. And it kind of leads me on to the behavioural issues that come with drinking when you're all excited, the adrenaline's rushing through your veins, and you're having maybe a few too many beers, because you kind of have to watch out for what other people are seeing, because this might be their first opportunity of meeting you and you might not come across the way that you want to. When it comes to people, all you have to do is be kind and polite and thank them for their hard work, especially all the guys working behind the scenes and putting on this festival that you are lucky enough to be a musician to be playing at. Hold off the drink for celebrations afterwards when you're with your friends and your family, but on stage, drink plenty of water, because it's likely if it's a summer festival, it will be hot anyway. So stay hydrated and just make sure you do the best performance you possibly can. When you're finished with your set, hopefully you will communicate with the sound engineer that everything is muted, because you do not want to unplug your jack and be that person that ruins everyone else's hearing, because they might not be wearing ear defenders. So just make sure everything's muted. Be careful about packing up your stuff. Obviously, you have to pack up pretty damn quickly after you've played at a festival, because they have to do a very, very swift changeover. so be aware, make sure everything's muted. This is something that I've been guilty of, and it's not an arrogance thing, it's literally just a forgetfulness thing. There have been some times when I haven't even said who I am during the set. That's kind of bad because you, again, could be the best band in the world. If they don't come up to you afterwards and ask your name or see your name on a leaflet or a banner or in the actual guide, they're not going to know who you are. Make sure you say your name maybe every 2 or 3 songs during the set, because people go in, people come out. You know, the audience is always changing. So make sure you say who you are. If you're a solo artist and you have a lovely band behind you, make sure you introduce them. If you're a band, then still introduce everyone, because people like that personal touch. Make sure you tell everyone where you will be after your set. The best place to say is that you'll be at the bar, because you'll be having your first drink of the day, hopefully, and you'll be celebrating and you'll be in good spirits, and they can come up and say hello. Once you have thanked everyone involved, including the sound engineer, make sure you have fun, because you never know who will be watching. I hope you enjoyed my tips for musicians at festivals. If you have any guidance, please comment below and let me know any tips that I've missed. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I will see you very soon.